Hi there, this is Eshu. I'm the abbot here at Zenwest Buddhist Society. This Living Zen-podcast is just one of the many resources we've created at Zenwest to make Zen practice and training more available and accessible to people all over the world. Instructional videos, printable resources, and much, much more are also available on our website at www.zenwest.ca. If you're a regular listener, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop me an email at office@zenwest.ca and let me know who you are, how you got started, and what brought you to Zen. Everything we make available in person and online at Zenwest is only possible because of the support of our members and associates, people like you. If the efforts of our community are making a difference in your life, I'd like to invite you to show your support and take part in making it happen by becoming an associate or member of the Zenwest Sangha. You can do this by clicking the Join Us tab on our website at www.zenwest.ca. Thank you for your support, and thanks for listening. Please feel free to turn towards me if you like, if it makes you comfortable. Just be at ease while I speak. Really? Okay. I've given you permission, so you can do it or not. Sometimes it's just knowing that it's an option is enough. So, one of the teachings that is in the first sermon that the Buddha gave, the sermon is called the turning of the wheel of the Dharma. The Buddha lays out the Four Noble Truths, and he lays out the Eightfold Noble Path to the five monks, his five first monks, the five ascetics who practiced with the Buddha early in his practice, before his awakening. And as he explains the Four Noble Truths in the Eightfold Noble Path, one of those monks named Kondana has a realization, it says in the sutra. And the Buddha, recognizing that something's lit up or something has been realized by Kondana, asks him to say it. Like, what have you realized, Kondana? And Kondana responds with a very simple reply, which is, he says, that which is of the nature to be born is of the nature to die. And this is a summary of Kondana's great realization. Now, to say it, just in simple words, is a very simple thing. I think that if I say that which is of the nature to be born is of the nature to die in this room, I think that everybody here says, well, duh. Of course, that which is of the nature to be born is of the nature to die. Anything that's born dies. This is a fundamental teaching, a fundamental principle of Zen practice. One of the reasons that we suffer in our lives is that we can understand this. We can grasp this simple teaching with our heads, but over and over again, as we live our lives, we wish, and we hope, and we project, and we aspire to being or having or experiencing something that is born but never dies. And we look for this in objects, and we look for this in relationships, and we look for this in circumstances, and in personality itself. We continuously flout this teaching, this fundamental principle that anything that arises in this cosmos exists for a time, and then the circumstances, the things that make that situation arise, break apart, and again that situation, that relationship, that personality dissolves and returns to shunyata, emptiness, the origin. When we hang on to our ideas about things lasting, when we chase after that final job that will give us lasting satisfaction, or that perfect relationship or other person that will make us permanently happy, or that car, or that bank account, or that whatever, over and over again, we find that it makes us happy for a little while, but soon that fundamental dissatisfaction, we call it dukkha in Buddhism, reasserts itself. And our disappointment, our grief, our suffering reasserts itself. So I'm talking about this. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've been away for a month, really. I was sick for a couple of weeks. And then just as I was recovering, I got a call at the end of February from my sister Michelle, who lives here in Victoria. She works here at the University of Victoria. My eldest sister, Jackie, who lives in Ontario, has been having some back pain for some time. And I knew about the back pain. But Michelle, who recently completed her PhD in immunology, something about the adaptive response of T cells, is cancer research. Michelle informed me that the problem with Jackie's back was actually metastatic cancer, and that she had it in several places in her spine, primary in her lungs, and she also has it in several other places. I don't really think I need to go into too much detail. So I've been in Ontario with my sister Jackie for the past couple of weeks, and with the rest of my family. Early in my Zen training, before I went off to the monastery to be ordained, I spent 2.5 years volunteering at the Victoria Hospice Society here in Victoria. And I studied the spiritual care unit and was involved with several people at the end of their lives, and was able to be with a few people as they breathed their last. And my experience in the hospice, my experience with Zen practice has really been formative, transformative in my life. When I was working in hospice, I found that oftentimes there were sort of two groups of people that would come in to the hospice environment. In order to enter into the hospice environment, you have to sort of have stepped off the curative path, meaning your disease is so advanced, or your circumstances are in such a way that curing you is no longer an option. And what I saw there was that these two sort of groups of people came in. One was a group of people who had confronted or faced this fundamental truth that that which is of the nature to be born is of the nature to die. in some way, either through a spiritual practice or just through their life experiences in innumerable ways. They had faced this probably over and over again. And for many of these people, the experience of death was not a sudden drastic change where they went from living a life to suddenly having a death. It was the final flowering, I guess you could say. It was the known and expected end of their life. And for those people, the experience was, I might even say beautiful. They had an opportunity to share with their loved ones. They had an opportunity to just be. And this is really where I feel like I had a wonderful opportunity to learn that there are many circumstances in our life that we get into where doing is impossible. There's nothing you can do anymore. And there's a lot of people in this world that can do. They're great doers. But it's very difficult when there's nothing left to do to just be. And I learned there how to be. The other side of the equation were people who, for one reason or another, in pursuing whatever it was that they were pursuing, when it came time, when they found themselves in this hospice situation, it came as a great surprise to them, it seemed, that all of their lives, when they had witnessed death, when they had witnessed the breaking apart of innumerable bodies, somehow it never occurred that that would be them one day. And so this circumstance became a crisis. Suddenly, all of the things that they had put off doing or saying, all of the things that they figured that they would have time later for, all sort of crashed into their life. And I used to call it the spiritual ER, because that's what it felt like. It was crisis work. Families coming in and horrible things being said to one another, and so much pain and hurt and turmoil. So much hanging on and refusing and hardship and, frankly, suffering. And part of the reason that I chose to go to the monastery, part of the reason that I chose to walk the path that I've been walking for the past nearly 20 years, was that experience. I wanted to, I should be careful. There are many people who commit themselves to supporting and being with individuals in crisis situations. Bless the ER doctors. Bless the first responders. Bless the hospice workers of all kinds. My character is one much more, I think, of a preventative medicine. I like preventative medicine. And so for me, I saw this path. I saw people who were actually able to embrace the end of their lives. And one of the things that I saw most commonly was this engagement with a spiritual practice. I also had the opportunity, just after I was ordained, we had a member in the Zen Center named Doreen, and she had it was her third or fourth bout of cancer. And she had done chemo and done all the treatments and fought it off several times before. And this time she said, no, I'm ready. And I was able to be with her and walk with her and talk with her and have tea with her. And I remember taking Dottie over. We had just got her. This was my dog. And taking the puppy over to see her. And saying, this is the way that I want to die. And this is the way that I want to practice with people so that when the end of their life comes, this is the way that it is. So, I got to watch the time, but I feel like there's a lot to say here. So I had this trip back to Ontario, and I had the opportunity to see people that I haven't seen in many years, many family members. I haven't really spent any time in Ontario for more than a dozen years, and so there was a lot of history there. And a lot of the relationships that I haven't touched in 20 years or more, where it's almost like there's an expectation that you're going to behave like a 25-year-old or, in some cases, a 15-year-old. One of my cousins said, I haven't seen you since your hair was long and black and you were blasting Slayer in your bedroom. But this opportunity for me to go back was a very powerful testament to the depth of this practice, this opportunity that we have, that we're engaging in today. I felt like I was able to be with my sister. I was able to be with both of my sisters. I was able to be with my father, with my stepmother, with the people who were coming in to visit. There are a lot of things to do. There were a lot of things to do, and I did many of them. But I felt that the real strength, the real value that I was able to bring was this simple ability, the simple practice of being able to just be, to have nothing to do, to create this space where it was okay to be quiet and to just feel what was going on. One of the things that I posted on Facebook as I was there was Zen practice is for life. And I really mean that. So this simple practice, sitting, breathing, paying attention to what's arising in this moment, this practice of simply taking up space in this room to be, provides us with an opportunity to let go of all of those things that we think we need to do to be complete. It provides us with this opportunity to simply dive into what's unfolding in this very moment. Everything that is arising exists only for a moment. And then it passes. Whether it's this wonderful thing that's happening, this relationship, this job, or whether it's this uncomfortable pain in our legs, this annoyance at work. Everything that arises passes. When we're able to fully grasp this simple, fundamental teaching, the teaching in the first sutra, what we find is we can stop expecting, we can stop looking for that thing that's going to last us forever and provide us with eternal satisfaction. When we face difficult circumstances, we're not gripped by the sudden realization that, oh, damn, again, this isn't the thing that's going to last forever. Shit! I've got to keep on looking. we can actually just be with the difficulty that is arising in that moment. And without that extra sort of existential angst, it makes it that much more possible. And it actually opens up in a moment-to-moment way an opportunity for us to really cherish the things that we're experiencing. We're not sad that this relationship has a beginning and an end. But recognizing that it is temporary, recognizing that it passes, we can cherish it in its temporary nature. Okay, I feel like I could go on for hours and hours, but ring, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.